And many of you might be using some of the MRA models to recruit, and some of you may not. But I'll tell you, if you want to get to team leader by referral, if you really want to be a by referral team leader, which, hello, we all do. If you use a couple of our tools in the recruiting conversation, you start onboarding maybe a little bit more purposefully with R2s to plug them into some of our tools, you will just be team leader by referral, but it's kind of like something that you need to bring into the mix. So, so today we're going to just dive into like how to use the database assessment either to get a legit real appointment where they're really digging in with you and doing a true needs analysis, or once you've done a needs analysis, how to weave it into the conversation as you're sliding into that 10-step, presentation of introducing this concept to get them to move quickly. Now, it's so funny. I was just talking to Sheila before you guys got on that I've done 3 recruiting appointments today, and I used the database assessment for all of them. And truth be told, the database assessment is a way, a tool, a model to bring into any conversation, your own agents to get them engaged, as well as, to get a recruit to meet with you, or like I said, to get them to move quickly. And so I'm just gonna kind of just talk a little bit about that for you guys, and then, share, some strategy around how you might weave that conversation and get some feedback from you guys. And if you just start making the database assessment part of all your conversations, it's amazing how quickly you can get an agent to move, because the common denominator really between everyone, between all agents, is really they all want more business, and they all want more business by referral, more so than top of funnel or prospecting or door knocking or giving up their weekends and doing open houses. Most people that we talk to, let's be honest, would prefer to have more referrals, same as us, right? So it's not rocket science. So this is a universal conversation you can have with nearly anyone, and it works. So that's what we're going to dive into today. Any comments, questions? Anyone having a lot of success with the database assessment playbook? No? Cool. Okay. Well, I used it 3 times today, so I'm all ready to rock and roll for you guys. And yet, does anyone want to be a role play partner? Anyone want to be a difficult agent?
Okay.
Eric, you're going to do it? Okay, cool. So you're my agent. And so, like I said, we can use this tool to either get a conversation going, like a legit conversation, legit appointment where, they're going to really be open to us and share a lot. Or Eric met with me, he gave me just enough to know, and I'm kind of moving into the next step of that recruiting appointment where I'm going to go into the 10-step presentation. So Eric, let's role play it like I'm getting an introduction to you from one of my agents that you did a deal with, and you're kind of not really excited to meet with me, but you're being nice. How about that? We'll start with that example.
Okay.
Does that sound fair? I mean, anyone relate to that experience, right?
Yes.
That coolish lead that you hope goes somewhere. Okay, so I'm just gonna assume Eric is over the phone with me at this point because he isn't meeting with me yet. And so a couple things before we dive into this. I have all this on my computer pinned. Okay, so if you see my screen over here, you'll see I have the database assessment book. I've got the code book because I talk about that a lot. I bring that up a lot to people. I've got this article that I share with agents to talk about what kind of conversion they could get out of their database, how to calculate the math. Why do we say they should be getting a 6% return? This is kind of the article that covers all that and gives this kind of legitimate proof. I used to have the 201 plus graph. I don't know what happened to it. I lost it, but I had that pinned up here so that when I was having this conversation with someone, If it was over Zoom or we were in my office, I had all that ready to rock and roll. So I did have my little props ready to go. And now you guys have these cool little books. So I would have this sucker with me if I was at like a coffee shop and I didn't have my computer open. I would at least have a prop with me. Okay. So those are kind of the props I have. I'll have Sheila put them in the chat for you guys. So you can just download them if you want. But I also have Command open and the getcommand.com website open, and I have a really cool command versus other popular platforms kind of thing ready to go. So those are my props. And like I said, any one of these, if you need any of this, we'll put it in the chat for you so you can kind of connect the dots. But if you just talk to someone about something, they don't believe you, so you need like proof. So if I'm not with a computer, that's just this old school little book. Back in the day, it was just the red book, you guys. And I would open up page 133 and 148 and I'd show them pictures. Now you got all this cool stuff. So do what you're going to do, use what you're going to use. But those are some of the tools I use when having this conversation. Okay, back to you, Eric. I can't find you on my screen, but you're on here. I hear you. So Eric, Keith, the agent of at my office, did a deal with you and he had the nicest things to say about you, and said that you might be open to meeting, and I'd love a chance to go buy you coffee and get to know you. Would you be open to that?
Thank you, but I'm happy where I'm at.
I get it. Yeah, you have a great brokerage. I know a lot of agents over at your office, and yet let me ask you this. I would love to secretly be your backup plan if ever you were to make a change. And although that's pretty unlikely, I love making friends with other realtors. And so would you consider having coffee if I could show you a strategy to get more referrals?
I really appreciate it, but I'm just very, very busy and I'm doing okay, but I appreciate it.
Okay. Now break script here. If he really is pushing me off, guys, and he's really like doesn't want to meet, I'm gonna be like, I get it. Thanks for taking my call, and do me a favor, check your inbox. I've got a little gift for you that I'm gonna send you. And if you're open to it, ever talking to me, I'd love to keep a conversation going. So I'm gonna back away if he's like, no. Okay. But what am I gonna send him, you guys? The database assessment playbook. I might text it to him and say, if I text it to him, I'm going to text it to him as a link and say, I'm curious what your conversion is if you did the math on page 6. That's what I would typically send because people are curious. He's going to go then open up that book because I sent an odd statement and he doesn't even know what the link is. And he's going to see that and look at that. Now, does anything else happen from here? No, but because I had an interaction with him, I'm going to go put him in my nurture smart plan where I'm going to remember to call him and invite him to something at least once a month. Okay. Now let's play it a little nicer, Eric. Try nice, not precise. Okay. Yeah. Because it's going to go one of these ways, you guys, you know how it is. This is not like a perfection. This is reality. So Eric, I would love to show you, I would love to just be your plan B if ever you were ever to make a change. And I know I have this really cool strategy where I'm showing agents to get a lot more referrals from their database. I'd love to share that with you too. Would you be open to grabbing a coffee or connecting?
I would. I love what I do and I'm very good, but I feel like I've hit a ceiling and my brokerage is not helping me to grow a team. I can't do it all by myself.
Yeah, I hear you. It's not easy to do. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to screen share you guys. I'm just going to have the database assessment book. Now, I don't go through this book, you guys. This is a prop. It's proof that what we're talking about is not me just jibber jabbering. It's legit. There's a model here. There's pages and information. So I'm not going to like review the book with him, but I'm going to say, so Eric, I'm going to give you this. This is actually a coaching conversation I have with my own agents to help them maximize their opportunity with their database. I want to share it with you as well. In here, we can do a lot of different things. And I like to just show this page, you guys, I'm off script here. I show this page and say, there's a few different exercises that we can do to help you get more business in this playbook. The one I'd like to focus on with you today, Eric, since we only have a few minutes, is actually on page 6. And it's really kind of just assessing where you're at. So, Eric, real briefly, how many closings did you have from your database last year? Sphere of influence, past clients, that gang. How many units? Keep math easy. Don't do weird numbers.
Yeah, I don't know all my numbers, but I would say probably half of them. So if I sold 52 homes, you're at 26.
Okay, so we're going to say 20 because you're making math difficult now. So you did about 20 closings from your database. Way to go. That's impressive.
Thank you so much.
You know what that says? That says you're doing a great job because you're getting your business in a large part by referral. So you got 20 deals from your peeps. So if I went to your Facebook page and looked at how many friends you have, and I looked at your phone, and we actually took time to really work on pulling all your data points together, your neighborhood, past clients, vendor friends, people from your family, friends. How big of a circle of friends do you have?
I have about 200 at least friends, but with everything you said, I'm closer to 500.
Okay, so if we take 500 and we divide it by your 20, that's going to give us a snapshot of how you're doing. And that's basically what the math is, you guys, on page 6. So all I'm doing is just doing the math with him. And then I'm going to let him answer the questions. I want him to do the math with me. I don't want to do the math for him. So again, all we're doing is dividing 500 into how many deals do we say? 20 that you did with your
That's correct.
business. And we're going to see that he has a 4% return. Okay. I'm like, way to go. And yeah, there, I'm going to taunt a little there and probably say, are you sure you got all your friends in there? Most people are like, well, there's more people I know. And we say, okay, so there's even probably more opportunity there, right? Now I'm going to pivot to make sure that he believes me, because I'm going to go into this book a little more and show the model and talk about a 6% return. I like bringing up this article, you guys, or sharing this article with them after the fact, that goes into the science behind the logic of 6%. If they're skeptical, especially, so that they actually believe me. Okay. Now, I also know that on page 50 in this book is a 25% return example. And so you want to just open whatever person you have across from you's eyes and minds to this model, because they don't know about it right now. They haven't been told this typically. So you sometimes get super skeptics, and you sometimes get people like, oh my God, how did I not know this? Okay, so you kind of get one or the other, but you do need to show that this is something that's legit. This isn't you just making stuff up. And so depending on how they're responding to you, just be aware of that, just be in tune with that. So if I've got a super skeptic, I'm going to actually bring this article up. I'm going to read this whole area to them. I'm going to highlight 6.37%. I'm going to, and they're going to be like, okay, I did not know this. And yet if I make some generalizations and do this math with Eric here, I know that he's missing out on at least 10 closings, right? Because if he has a 500-person database, he could be getting 30 units. Well, Eric, how much do you usually make on a closing? Like 10 grand?
Roughly 10 grand, if not a little more.
Wow. So 10 closings. I mean, I'm not a rocket scientist here, but 10 closings at your commission, how much money are you leaving on the table?
100,000.
Wow. That's awesome. You got a lot of opportunity there, don't you?
Yes, I do. Thank you. I only know about going about the business by finding people that are ready to do it now, and I haven't had any one focus like a database to work on.
Yeah, it'd be fun to help you put this in place so that your business became very predictable.
I would love that. That's what I'm looking for.
How many years have you been in the biz?
Over 10 years.
Oh, you lost 100,000 this year alone. Now 10x it.
I hear what you say. That's not the way I always look at it, but in this scenario, I appreciate the guidance.
So
I
let me
don't
ask you
have
this. I know
any
you're very
knack that I
loyal.
do.
I know you have no interest in making a move. I know. Let's just assume that you don't want to make a move. And yet, let me ask you this. Would it make sense for us to dive into this a little? I'd love to do some free coaching for you on this.
I've never had coaching before, and that's an opportunity I would love to take.
Okay, let's do it. So, okay, now I'm going to get a real appointment. Now I'm going needs analysis. I'm going to try to book this today or tomorrow, guys. So do you see how you can use it to transition like that? Pretty simple, huh? Now, let's just say he's like, nope, Jess, can't meet with you. I'm tied up. I'm going on vacation tomorrow, blah, blah, blah. See you in 3 weeks, which we know we get. We're team leaders. I now have enough pain of his to keep tapping on him to get him to come back to me when he's willing. And that's true, you know. Some things I would say sometimes, depending on the person across, would be like, how long can you go on like this? Like losing money like this? What would you do with that money? Like, and look at this other, you know, and I could turn to page 50 and be like, and this guy gets 25% with this model. I mean, you guys, you've far to go. You know, would you rather get better at what you're already good at, you know, for those people that are totally into their database? Or would you need to fill like the gap with another lead source? Well, why wouldn't you want to get better at what you're already into, which is referrals, right? Now, another statement I sometimes make that can really get someone to think about it that might not be thinking about it is, I can't believe no one's taken the time to show you this. Because this is the first class we teach our new agents. It's called Ignite. The first 3 sessions are this fundamental stuff. I wonder what else we could uncover if we just dove in a little. You know, what would hurt? What's the risk in us having conversations on the side to show you what else you could be doing with your business? You know, again, so I'm using a model to educate them, to make them aware of what KW is like and what we do, because you guys are going to remember they don't do this type stuff at any other brokerage that I've ever been at. I've been at a lot of brokerages. So if they don't know we do this, if we don't kind of do this to them or engage them with our models, they don't even know this even exists. And if you don't use this in recruiting, when they join you, they don't change their behavior. They just do exactly what they did at the brokerage they came from, and they don't plug into your stuff. Right? So it's kind of like a trifecta. If you want to get more technical with your recruiting, it's just weaving it in, guys. It's not replacing the needs analysis with this. No, no, no. You still need a needs analysis. It's still part of the process, but you can use these models to taunt someone to a real appointment or, you know, to move quickly. You know, in this scenario, we got Eric, who was, I'm never moving, to now meeting with me. Okay. So do you guys, any questions or thoughts or anything on that?
Yes,
Go for it.
Jessica, I would say it in my own words, but my words are verbatim to what you're saying. I was an individual producer who hit a ceiling, but the ceiling wasn't so terrible, but commission wise. I know nothing about anything that Keller Williams is all about. And I figured, why am I moving somewhere when I had the highest split? And I don't understand how anyone would ever be able to help me with my ceiling. Anyway, you said everything really well. There is so much value in knowing that somebody cares enough and there's potential to not only make more money, Jessica, but a big part of it is leveraging the time to do even a little bit less because you have systems that become automatic when you do them early enough in the year. And everything you're saying is so valuable to me. I'm so happy you have this class today. Thank you.
Well, you know what it is I got to tell you, Rich and I would, because Rich was my coach when I was like a brand new team leader. And I'm sure I'm going to screen share. This is my actual interview sheet that I have used for years. It's nothing special. But if you look at what I've highlighted, this is the flow of 6,000 recruiting appointments I probably did. And, you know, I had him tell me a little bit about them. And then before I dove into whatever we were going to supposedly talk about, I said, hey, just give me a blink on your business. Like, where does your business come from? And they would tell me everything in just a few minutes that I needed to know to basically do the database assessment. without having the playbook before with this, any of this existed. And yet most of us that have been recruiting for a long time, that was our flow. We'd be like, give me a little blink on your business because, you're having a quick coffee or meeting with someone, you don't know everything. And like, how many deals did you do last year? And, how much of that came from your database? I'm just going to find out that number or percentage. And then I have what I need. I do. I have everything I need. So that was just something I just have done forever. So because of that, it's a universal gap in all of our lives is agents don't necessarily have the self-discipline to really rock out that 36 touch. And so how I get that into recruiting mode is I show them enough of command. I'll show them the code book. I'll show them a few things and say, this is how we automate this. Because frankly, our agents have had this model for a long time. We don't have 100% engagement on it. We don't have 100% adoption, right? Our own agents don't all do exactly what Gary teaches because we lack self-discipline. But command is kind of our magic pill now because it automates 80% of it, you guys. Inevitably an agent, even if they don't make all the phone calls we wish they would, they're definitely going to be much better off getting their database on neighborhood nurtures and some of the AI automation and other things that they have set up here. So in your own heart, you can just feel good about what you're doing for people. You're changing lives, you guys. When you recruit like this, but you actually deliver this at onboarding, you have changed their world.
100%. How many of us come from a place that just had what's called an office manager? And you're already calling, quote unquote, for a recruit with all the questions to be about me. Listen, I was very comfortable where I came from because of what I was doing. And that's why I was always reluctant to leave. I knew what I was going to make. I didn't have the systems, but I knew I had what I was doing. So the second you come in to help grow the business, you're already doing better than where I'm coming from. Everything is in the how you say it, what you're saying, and everything. And you're perfect at it, Jessica. But I would be so
show it. I gotta tell you though, you guys gotta show it. Now that you have all this cool stuff, use it because give it away. There's no risk in giving things away, guys. Give it away. This is how you'd also follow up with someone, or if someone no-showed you, you could send this book and say, hey, I'm so bummed we didn't get together. I wanted to do the math with you on page 6. And you owe me coffee. Let's reschedule. That's what I would say to someone that no-showed me, but I would send this value item in a text so that they're like, what's this all about? And even if they never talk to me again, I got this in their hands and I made them aware of something that they didn't know about. Right? I'm a value. Now I'm automatically, anyone that talks to me, I think they're all coming. It's just a matter of when. So I'm a very optimistic person. So I put everybody on nurture that I can, because again, then it's just keeping it warmed up, guys. Most people are shopping around right now just because they're nervous about what's going on in their own brokerage. If it's been pretty quiet in their own office, they're like, ooh, this isn't good. Or they see one agent that's pretty good leave their little office. They're like, things aren't good here. Don't forget that. Use this to your advantage. What would be the risk in everyone in the universe getting this from you? Nothing. No risk at all. But see how you can weave it into the conversation, either to get a legit appointment where they're like, yeah, I guess I will talk to you even though I'm happy where I'm at. Or, wow, how do I not know this? And man, if you could help me get my arms around this and plug into command when I join you, I could be in a different situation. Bottom line, right? And again, if you don't use the props, they don't believe you. Now, what's best is when you're a team leader for a while and you've got a couple success stories, people in your office you've helped out with this, they're your walking testimonial, because you can't get everyone to do this. Those that will. So once you develop a couple role models in your office, you really feel good about this. And then you have your story, you can have them call that agent and help you close. I mean, there's all these things that line up for you. And that's how you also become team leader by referral. So just think of every R2 you guys bring in. If you use this model in recruiting them to get them to move faster and understand what they could do with you, and you onboarded and helped them get this done, they will not only never leave you, but they'll tell everyone about you and they're a success story in action. So that's when this job becomes addicting, where you don't want to ever leave it because you feel so good about the good you're doing. And that's why I did it for almost 18 years, you guys. Loved it. But I didn't get tied up in little minutia like onboarding. I got tied in with them. As soon as they joined, there was 4 appointments put on my calendar for 4 weeks, and we just dive into whatever that is. And it was usually this, or it was hiring someone. So if it was hiring someone, we didn't really dive into this as much as KPA, writing a job description, and I treated them like they were ALC. Like if you were on my ALC and you needed to hire an assistant, here's what I'm going to do to help you. Same thing. So all of you can handle that, because I don't think anyone on this call is hiring more than 5 R2s a month. When you get over 5 R2s a month, it gets hard. But until then, you got a lot of time, because if you're avoiding spending time on the wrong things, you've got time for the right things, right? Now, just remember, your agent leadership council and your top agents are your people that you want to practice this on and also deliver it. So to get conversational like I am, where I'm just whipping around and looking at showing pages and referencing articles and having a conversation, I've done that by practice on my own agents. And if you have this conversation with your ALC or a couple other top agents, your confidence will you'll just get into a little vibe about it. And that'll be the difference maker for those folks too. Cool? Did you get anything? Anyone get any ahas? Sometimes I feel like I just talk out there. Sorry, guys. Yeah, okay. Did I get Eric? Eric, would you have taken an appointment with me?
I would take an appointment with you, particularly because you said the right things at the right time. The goal wasn't to show me how I would make more with capping and this thing and that thing. You hit me where I needed the help. And that was the big difference between you and other KW people that approached me in the past, why I never came in the past.
Well, and here's what I'm going to tell you. Now, when I go make the offer to Eric, you lead with that. You lead with, Eric, when you join Keller Williams Clearwater, I am not going to let you off the hook. I'm going to make sure we tackle this project together. My team's going to get in alignment with you and your people. And we're going to make this happen in the first 30, 60, or 90 days, depending on how fast you want to run. I won't let you not do this. It's not about moving you from one brokerage to another. It's about changing your business. And then here's the rest of my offer. Now that's how you close them to you and not every other place that they're shopping around, because your offer may not beat everybody else's offer. So if you guys when you go to close, make sure you're bringing that up, that commitment up as part of the offer, because that's actually what's going to get them to pick you over another offer that might actually give them cash to move. Right? It's making that change. So just keep that in mind, because all these things weave together, you guys, and it's just a little bit more technical recruiting, but this is the stuff that moves people quickly. Cool.
Jessica.
Yes.
Will this be recorded? I couldn't get connected at first.
Yep,
so
it's recorded. Yep, we'll give it to you, Judy, for sure.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
So if anyone does want to practice more, we have Rich and I are doing, well, you got Rockstar recruiting starting again. So any one of you that want to jump into Rockstar, that's 12 weeks with us. We just chisel away at this stuff. We're actually going to do more role play in this next round of it, like where Rich and I are actually practicing and doing it in front of you guys. Because sometimes some of you have only been recruited by 1 or 2 people ever, so it's kind of fun to hear what other people say or how their flow goes. This is the rest of these pop-ups that we're doing. So this one was database assessment. The next one is disrupting, like how to be really disruptive with recruiting right now, how to really make waves. We've got, between my clients and Rich, probably 5 or 6 roll-ins happening right now. And there's some disruptive things that you guys can do out there. Technical recruiting with the heat seeker is what I'm focusing on the third call, with more specific heat seeker things that are working like right now. Like what are people saying? What kind of follow-up are they doing? And then we're going to dive into more MREA, like the economic model or the lead gen. Like this is kind of the lead gen model. We'll talk economic and budget for the 4th. So if any one of those intrigue you, just dive in, share this with anyone. We want as many people on as possible to help out, because this is the time where agents are moving. It's getting fun again. So I hope you
Jess,
all.
could you kindly put it on the link? Because I can't use this picture, unfortunately, on the Zoom. Is there a way?
No worries.
You-
When we follow up with the email, Sheila, can we include this marketing material, please?
Yeah, I'd like to sign up for all of them. So thank you.
Yeah, it's all free. It's free for anyone. So pass it on to your team leader or ATL or PC coaches that are recruiting, anyone that wants some additional training. We're here for you. We care about you. And we also know what a killer market is to be recruiting. So if your mindset's not there, reach out, because we want to make sure that you get your arms out and just start grabbing your unfair share. Brokerages are changing, moving, closing, doing all kinds of crazy things. Make sure that you're everybody's plan B right now. Just go for it. Just say, hey, everybody out there, I want to be your plan B. I want you to come and look at our 2024 offering. I want to be your backup plan. Our doors are open for you here. You know, that's the message right now. Cool. Great to see you all. Hope you have an awesome rest of your day. We'll get you this recording. If there's anything you need, reach out. We're here for you.
Thank you,
Jess,
Jessica.
thank you so much.
This
You're the
was
best.
great.
I'll
Thank
see you
you.
soon.
See ya.